Imagine you're standing under the iconic glass pyramid of the Louvre, the world's most visited museum. The kind of place tourists queue for hours just to glimpse its treasures. Now imagine the doors shut, not for renovation, but because the very people who guard history have walked out. Today, we're diving into why the staff at the Louvre voted for strike action.
It's becoming unbearable. There are leaks in the roof. The elevators don't work anymore. The plumbing breaks from one end to the other.
And why what's happening behind closed museum doors may rewrite how the art world handles security and preservation. Welcome to the Instant Angle. Just a few weeks ago, the Louvre was shaken to its core. Visitors described the atmosphere that day as normal. The usual crowds, the usual lines, the familiar rhythm of cameras clicking under the glass pyramid. And then, in a moment that felt almost unreal, that rhythm was shattered. On October 19th, 2025, a small, coordinated group of thieves executed one of the boldest daylight heists Europe has seen in decades.
It's not clear to me whether that was left as part of this renovation work or whether they brought it with them. In any case, it extended up to this first floor window, which allowed them access to the Apollo gallery.
They didn't sneak in through the shadows. They walked through the museum like everyone else, blending into the flow of tourists from around the world. In a matter of minutes, they targeted and stole priceless pieces of France's crown jewels, artifacts tied directly to Napoleon-era royalty, and some of the nation's most storied historical chapters. For employees, it wasn't a shock. It was confirmation. They had been warning management for years. Malfunctioning cameras, blind spots in galleries, security systems long overdue for modernization, and a workforce stretched dangerously thin. Maintenance issues piled up, but fixes were delayed. Every warning felt like shouting into a void. And nothing changed. Not until the day everything collapsed at once. The heist wasn't just a theft, it was a spotlight. A bright, unforgiving spotlight exposing vulnerabilities that experts had quietly worried about for years. Vulnerabilities inside a museum that houses over 500,000 artworks, including irreplaceable cultural icons like the Mona Lisa. What happened that day didn't just embarrass an institution. It forced the world's most famous museum to confront a truth it could no longer ignore. In the aftermath of the heist, frustration that had been simmering for years finally boiled over. Within days, workers from 3 of France's major unions, CGT, CFDT, and SUD, gathered in an emergency assembly. The vote wasn't close. It wasn't debated. It was unanimous. They would strike.
Once again, essential work has been postponed, and it seems likely that budgets were reallocated to other activities that we consider to be secondary.
And their demands are anything but subtle. They're calling for immediate investment in security and infrastructure. Not next year, not buried in a future budget cycle, but now. They want fair pay, predictable hours, and working conditions that reflect the responsibility of guarding some of the world's most valuable objects. They want the government to reconsider the planned ticket price hikes for non-European visitors, a policy they say will make the museum less accessible while doing nothing to solve internal problems. And above all, they're demanding more staff, enough people to protect both the art and the millions of visitors who move through the galleries each year. Their message to the Culture Ministry didn't dance around anything. In their formal letter, the unions wrote bluntly, "Visiting the Louvre has become a real obstacle course. Crowded halls, overworked guards, failing equipment, all inside an institution expected to operate at the level of a global symbol." The museum did respond, at least on paper. Parts of the Louvre reopened. Camera upgrades were scheduled. Temporary reinforcements were discussed. But workers say it's nowhere near enough. To them, these fixes feel like patching a leaking roof during a storm. A gesture that looks good from the outside, while the actual problem continues to spread underneath. The problems at the Louvre go beyond burglary. On November 26th, a water leak damaged 300 to 400 books in the museum's Egyptian Antiquities Library, rare and irreplaceable publications used by archaeologists and historians. Days before, a gallery was forced to close due to weakened support beams. Maintenance requests, ignored for years, now show the physical toll of deferred repairs. Meanwhile, the museum's leadership, including its director, has come under fire for spending millions on new acquisitions and ambitious renovation plans, while neglecting basic conservation and security needs. In short, the building is cracking under pressure, and the treasure house of humanity is feeling like a house on fire. If the strike holds, and many workers are already warning of rolling walkouts that could stretch for weeks. The impact won't stay contained within Paris. It will spill outward fast. Irreplaceable artwork becomes vulnerable. With fewer guards on the floor and strained security operations, even a minor incident could escalate into a disaster. The Louvre's masterpieces aren't just behind glass. They rely on constant human oversight. Tourism chaos. Every year, nearly 10 million people plan their trip around a single stop, the Louvre. Now, thousands of visitors, casual tourists, students, families who saved for years, are arriving only to be turned away at the gates or funneled into reduced access tours.
I crossed the ocean to be here today. I'm a little disappointed. I understand, I support the protesters. I understand what they're here for, but I can't help but be disappointed.
A global backlash. This isn't just any institution shutting its doors. The Louvre is a cultural ambassador, a symbol of preservation and artistic achievement. When it falters, the world pays attention. Governments, museums, and collectors across continents are already watching closely. For the workers, though, this battle runs deeper than wages or schedules. It's a stand for heritage, for the integrity of their workplace, and for the belief that guarding the world's greatest art shouldn't be done with outdated tools and understaffed teams. And for France, and everyone who believes these treasures belong to humanity, it's something bigger, a reckoning. A reminder that even the most celebrated cultural institutions can't survive on prestige alone. When the foundation starts to crack, the weight of history becomes impossible to ignore. The strike vote at the Louvre is more than a labor action. It's a warning sign. It's telling us that prestige and fame don't guarantee safety. Those high ticket prices can't mask poor conditions forever. If the Louvre stands, it needs new priorities. Preservation before profit, safety before spectacle. For now, the world is watching. And artists, historians, and travelers alike are waiting. Because when the world closes the doors on the Louvre, it isn't just a museum, it's history on hold.